Now, having said this now, that means that once you are able to do this, you should have something that will look entirely blank. So it will take you to a page where nothing will be here, no repository, nothing at all. And it will tell you, okay, fine, create a repository, do something, okay? Don't worry. So leave that aside. Now let's continue with what we have. So essence of Git and GitHub now, we are not actually doing it in this class, okay? So this you have to watch the recorded video. And after that, now let's start with this, okay? So yesterday there was an assignment, all right? So assignment, we are going to review it quickly. And then we look at joins, join, J-O-I-N-S. So which is the opposite of split? We saw that split function or split method yesterday, right? And we look at something that is very interesting, which is called list comprehension. Look into 2D list, little demo, and assignment. And I'll try to wind up exactly at 8. Seriously, I know you guys are overworked, okay? And I really appreciate you. I mean, despite being busy, you keep coming back, okay? Fine. Let's minimize this now and start, all right? Okay, so I'm going to start my journal now. And then we try to study little thing now, okay? So what is that we're going to study? All right, so here I needed this, 50 days of that. Fine, open this. All right, so this is what we've seen, okay? We saw all this yesterday, right? And even how we take the maximum and minimum of scores from the list. And remember, the list was limited to 1D list. We saw things like this. And then there was actually a question, okay? I don't know who asked that question. He's like, can a list hold items of multiple types? Yes? So I think, you see, what I said actually, like, why do you want to do that? Because that was the reason why we have dictionary, okay? But yes, you can actually do it because in what? In Python, no concept like arrays. Because arrays only allow you to what? Array does not exist. In Python, arrays doesn't exist. Okay, Ritin, thank you, Ritin. Ritin, were you the one who asked that question, I think? So arrays doesn't exist actually, because we know the limitation of array, right? The limitation is that it only accepts one type. Only one data type. Okay? Now, and again, we want to implement that in C. You remember, if you have programmed in C, don't worry, we think about using what? Struts, okay? Okay, no problem. But we are not looking at all those languages, don't get confused. Did you notice at least something if you have programmed in other languages? Yes, Amar, thank you, Amar. Yes, it's you. So if you notice in other programming languages, what happens is your array like this, if you say like car array, okay? So car A can actually look like this in other languages, right? But the same thing actually is called a list in what? Python. So this list in Python is flexible. Okay? In Python is what? Flexible. What do we mean by this now? It allows you to store multiple items also, even of different types. So we will kind of run a test program also practically. So maybe what you are trying to ask is, say, if we have something. And remember now, please remember now. So since we are talking of data types and we said that Python is what? Dynamically typed, right? It's dynamic, no problem. But there exist data types in Python, okay? Dynamically typed, yes or no? So what are the data types we've seen so far? Dynamically typed, what are the data types we've seen? So let's write this down, data types so far in Python. What we have learned, what we have actually come across so far. We came across strings, yes or no? Yes, tick. Okay, now have we come across numbers? Yes or no? Yes, so numbers we have seen. So in numbers again, we have actually seen the concept of only when we entered something like 1, 2, 3 like that. We also saw the concept of long number. Okay, let's say floats. Let me stop here only for now. So you have like 1.23 like that, and then 0 point something like that. You remember that program that returned only the decimal, from the decimal part. Yes, fine. So this is also done. We have seen this. Okay. The next one we have seen is what? Which we're actually doing is list. Yes or no? So list, we saw yesterday 1D list. Now today we are going to look into 2D list also. So this also we have seen. Now what is left? Because I remember I told you to read up functions. Do you remember? And in between yesterday also we have used that without dedicating a sessions to functions. Okay, so but for now don't worry, let's touch all these data types and before we go to that to functions to avoid messing up the entire thing. Okay, so list is done. Now what is left actually? I know many of you knows that. Okay, sorry, I don't want to make this assumption. Some of you knows that something we call tuples exist. We will touch that and dictionary. So once we are done now, we are now okay with everything that we have touched them. Okay, and then we now start making our application complex. Fine. So this is what we've seen so far, right? And now let's look at join. Okay. Remember, this list containing multiple items, I will show that. Okay, so let's look at join. Fine. So what is a join? The question now. What is join method? Join method. Okay, let's say if something like this exists, join method. What is this actually? So you know it is the opposite of split. Opposite of split. So what will it do now? You did not answer, sir. You are telling me it's the opposite of split. What does split do? Breaks it apart. So this breaks apart. Then what will join do? Join will bring together. Brings together. Okay. So opposite of split, which breaks apart, such that join, okay, brings together. Okay, we will see that now. All right. Very simple. Let's take example. I hope this is clear. Okay, can you give example? Why not here only? Let's take an example. For example, we have a list. That list is say L. Okay, maybe we use Li now for short. All right. So this Li contains something. Let me spell somebody's name now. I'm not going to pronounce it, but I'll spell your name. Okay. So this contains A M A R. All right. Now, if it contains AMAR, please listen. Now, I'm going to say this now, okay? So, maybe I just want to link this up, okay? So, I can say print, okay? Now, look here. Each of them is a character, right? But I want to see here, actually, this is represented as, please look here. This is like this, no doubt, okay? First case. But I just made it like this, okay, comma, without a space. I hope you got the concept, what I'm trying to explain, without a space. So I want to introduce space. I will show this practically, don't worry. I want to introduce space in between. So what I will do, I put an empty space, okay, and use dot join of a method, okay, to link them up on this list. Okay, this is what I want to do. So what will this do now? This will print a new list with spaces in between. So what the output will look like? It will look like this. Okay, depending on the number of space I've given. Got it? Now, let's say I want to print this command, no? Because what the command says is, this is the first item of index 0, item 1, second item of index 1. Because of the comma only, but when you print this, you're not going to see this comma. So if I want to print this, what I will do, I will repeat the same method only, okay, say print. Inside here, I will put comma, okay, then I will call the join operator. That's it, okay, on the list. Fine, so this will print, output will look like this now, A, comma, M, comma, A, comma, R. Done? Fine. So this is fine. And do you remember one thing there? Okay, there is something which we have to Google it now. Okay, let's Google something so I will know if I'm pronouncing it properly or not. So that is called ANA, I think GRAM, anagram. Okay, so let's look at this. How do you pronounce this? So look here, anagram is a word or phrase. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Okay, that is formed by rearranging the letter of another word or phrase. So for example, the letters that make up a decimal part can be turned into an anagram, like I am a dot in place, something like this. Okay. So now, what you can do actually, you can take them as a dictionary, but don't worry, okay? Word with their anagram. So example, so you can see here, okay? So this is final, it becomes FNILA, whatever, okay? Now, title becomes TTILE, equal becomes that. So the question here is, based on whatever we've studied so far, can we actually generate this? You got my point, right? Based on whatever we've studied so far, can we actually generate this anagram word? All right. So let's look at that. So let's say we want to look into ANAGRAM anagram generator. Okay. Now you got the concept of what you're going to do. Let's see if we'll be able to generate this based on whatever we've seen. So let's say I ask the user, okay, so this is how my input will look like. I'll ask the user to say enter any word or sentence. Let's start with word now. Enter any word. Now the user enters, say, maybe like welcome. Okay. Now what I want to do, please listen. Based on whatever we've seen so far, I don't want to map this to a value. No. What I want to do is I want to randomly shuffle this. Okay. So outputs, the first output, sorry, can be something of this nature. Maybe I'll get something like this, where I have maybe ELOCWEM, something like that. Okay. Now, next time when I enter the same thing, a different word will be generated, right? So maybe like you start with WEMOLO, whatever, something like this. Okay. So this will be generated randomly, right? So you got the concept. Now, what are we going to do now? Randomly. So we have to do something, which is what now? We have to import what? The random model, right? So import what? Random what? From random, actually, we need to import shuffle. Remember, we saw that yesterday, right? So yes, this is there, but what we need exactly was what? Shuffle. So that we will actually rearrange this, right? And then we now have to, please listen, we rearrange it, right? But what we have to do now is each of them, right, will be what? Stored in a list. The word we take as a string, please listen. Take this input as a string, store it in a list. So step 1, accept as a string. Step 1, accept as a string as it is, which is a string. Okay. Step 2, you store it in a list. Step 2, store in a list. Okay. As it is. This actually is. Okay. Store it in a list. Fine. Now, since we have it in a list, that means we can actually now join the letters, right? So before we join the letters, what we do is we shuffle, right? Shuffle the list. The list. And finally, we now join the shuffled list. Obviously, finally, join the what? Shuffled list. Okay, list. Fine. LIST. So that's it. Fine. So we're going to see this now. Okay. So one of the things I also, before we see that, let's look at something else, which is called list comprehension. LIST comprehension. So let's take help from Google and understand what list comprehension is, because I might give you some vague definition. Okay. So let's look at this. What is list comprehension actually? Okay. So we say list comprehension in Python. So what is it actually? So look here, this offers a shorter syntax when you want to create a new list based on existing lists. Okay, so maybe based on fruit, I want to create this. So this is used for creating new lists from iterables like tuples. Let's not talk about tuples now. I want to create it only from lists. Now strings, arrays, lists, etc. So what does it consist of? So open this quickly. It consists of, okay, renowned whatever for inquiry. Okay, so it consists of, okay, expressions. Okay, fine. Suppose this comprehension consists of braces containing the expression, right, which is executed for each element along with the loop to iterate over each element. No problem. So it is like a shorter way of creating a version of a list. So let's see that shorter way now. Okay, so we come back here now. All right. So let's say I want to please create a list of say 10. numbers. So example 1, create a list of 10 numbers. E.g. 1, create a list list of 10 what? Integer numbers. So based on what we have seen now, okay, first approach will be what? The static approach, in which we can say li, right, equal what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that, okay? No problem. But this is not what we wanted to do, right? We have not used this comprehension here. So what we do is we just use this word. So this is the same thing, right? This is the same list. Okay, so inside this, because we said we have to enclose it in brackets, okay, square braces. So we iterate through this. I for what? So I, okay, that means the items for whatever, that's for items in the list. Please listen. This list will be in what? Range. In range, we have seen this range function, right? Yes, in the previous class we have seen range of, since you want to create 10, right? And in this case 10 was actually printed, but here 10 will not be included, obviously, because it starts from 0 to like 9. Fine. Now this happens, okay, once we do this, now this will create a new list. So the output, this gives the output will look like this. So we have 0, 1, 2, something like that, okay, till 9. Fine. So this method of creating a list dynamically in only one line of whatever code, or with only one line of code, is called as your list comprehension. Fine. All right. So based on this now, let's say we have created this. So let's say now the output is now this. Let's write it properly so that you understand what I want to explain next. So finally this is created and we got this now. Let me write everything, all the individual characters, okay, or the numbers in this case, okay, 7, 8, all individual numbers is written out. And now please listen, I now want to do something now, okay? I now said that in this list, please listen, in this list I want to other examples also. In this list, what I want to do is I want you to multiply, or say let's square each of these lists. You got what I mean? Square them. Okay, so how do you square this? That means you can say this here, you say I in what? Okay, I first, okay. So before I say I in this, so I need to square each. So this is I, whatever li of 0, 1, 2. So now I will say this actually I into 2, right? Yes or no? Okay, so I have done this for what? I in, what is that? What's the name of that list? In what? The list li. Okay, so I'm going to multiply it by 2. Fine. So this will give me something like 0, 1, 4, 9, 16. You got my point till? Yes, thank you. Li into 2. Correct. Okay, okay. Okay, yes, that is correct. But yes, I wanted to use here I will try this also, li into 2. That is fine. But yes, yeah, I use the I, okay, to iterate through. This is fine, but I should not use li here. I'm actually raising everything using this as iterator, right? Just to pull through that, and then I'm taking everything from the list. Perfect. So now what next I can do is I might decide to multiply each of them by a factor. Say I want to multiply this by factor, say 5. Okay, it's not actually a factor, maybe a number, because if I say a factor, obviously it is yeah, it is that would be a kind of, if I multiply I will get some stuff, it will be divisible. I don't want to use the word factor. I'm going to say I want to multiply by a certain number, such that here, let's say what I want to do is I get 0 here, I'll get 10 here, I'll get 20 here, I'll get 30 here, and at the end I'll get 90. So what exactly do I want to do? So this says it is what? I multiply by 10, as you know, right? Okay. Okay, so sorry, if I'm going to do this, okay, if I'm going to do this, I think this will not, yeah, okay, we'll see that. Squared actually, please listen, squared actually should be double star, not 1 star, please. See, this 1 star is only times 2. I hope you get that. What I mean is this. Star, star, 2. Okay, that's what I meant. Okay, fine. So if you want to multiply by 10, you can do the same thing here, right? So you can say for what? I in Li. No doubt. So this multiplies it by a factor. Fine. All right. Let's say we want to return, say, the number that is less than a particular threshold. Now look here. Okay. Now I want to check in this list which number is less than maybe the number that is less than 7. Okay. I want to return numbers less than 7. That means I need to return a new list containing 0 to 6. So what I will do, I can also do the same thing here. I will now say what? Please listen, this will be a little funny now. I what? I'm going to iterating through that for I in what? In the list, this will be okay. It will return everything, yes or no. Now the condition says if, maybe I'll write it in red. If now what? If that I is less than 7, okay? So that is what we're going to get, okay? So it doesn't matter. Even if you want, you can also force this if this is a condition. Or you leave it like this also, it will work. And then you close it. So this will return what? Okay, so I didn't tell you what this will return. This will return this. Actually, this returns 0, 10, 20 down to 90. And this is going to return 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. So, okay, this is fine. Yeah. Okay, let's say we have another list. Please listen. Now, this list is called maybe ALF, ALF, ALP, alphabets. Okay. So this list, please listen, contains something like, say, numbers, as in word, like 1, 2, 3. Okay. Maybe I will stop at 5 now. 4 and 5. Yes, and 5. Okay. So this contains numbers like this. Okay. And now my question is, please pay attention. Okay. I want you to, please listen. I want you to return, please listen, question. I want everybody to type now, based on whatever you've studied so far. Now, I want you to question, return, or print, please, you might be saying what is return. Sorry about that. Print the elements, okay? That is items. Now, let me use items for consistency. Print the items or those items, right? Whose length, please listen, whose length is what? Is equal to 3. Now, what I mean is not this. It's equal to 3. That means it's exactly equal to 3. I hope you're able to follow. Now, first thing, please listen. First thing, look here. If you call, can anybody just tell me how we do this? If you understood this question actually, can you just try attempting answering it? Print those items whose length is exactly equal to 3. Okay? Now, first thing, if you call len, let's start with this. Hint, solution. I will give only the first hint and then I will stop. Now, look here. If you call len on half, what will it return? Len on half. What will it return? Tell me what it will return. Please type. Okay, maybe my network is a little slow, but I'm seeing the chat box now. All right, I think I will continue, okay? So, if I say len of half, okay, don't worry, I think many of you are sending, but I cannot see it. So, len of half will return 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to get 5, no doubt. But I want to return those whose length is this. That means I need to subset this, right? So, I need to say half of 0, look here. Half of 0, ALP, half of what? 0. Thank you. 4 and 5, okay. Thank you. So 5 is the answer. If I say half of 0, it's comparing this one, right? This index, this one is 0, location 0. Half of 1, we talk about, we go to 2. So half of 0 is 1. Half of 1 is 2. That means I need to now, thank you so much. I know you guys are sending, but I couldn't see it. Now, so we cannot use this now, right? We cannot call this directly. So what we have to do, we now have to subset this, right? So starting from index 0. So what we need to do now, this is equivalent to now what? we say what? M, okay, sorry, half of what? 0, please listen, half of 0, okay, 4. Now you can say I in what? I in half, okay, ALP, okay. If len is exactly equal to 3. Len of what? Half, okay? That means each of them, please look here. We have to start from index 0, right? After that, we move to index 1. After that, we move to index 2. It's exactly equal to 3. Now, once we do this now, what are we going to get? It will come here. Is the len of this equal to 3? Yes. So it will print what? Please listen. It will print what? This one, okay? We needed this, okay? Now, next, 2, and that's it, okay? Only these 2 is what we need, okay? That's all. All right, don't worry, we will demo this. I think on this note, I should stop now and let's just look into what we have practically, all right? Fine. So let's start. So far, we have been able to do something, and let's just see what we're going to do now. Okay, I actually kept some stuff here to use this size of operator only after we have looked into what? Tuple. Okay, so a quick question, and I want you to think. There is something we call size of operator, right? Which shows that, okay, which tries to answer the question, which one has a larger size, tuple or list? We have not thought about tuple, we have not thought about list, no, sorry, we have not studied tuple, no problem. So we will see that later, okay? So I'm not going to demo this now, I will leave this, and then let's look into this one, okay? So what is that we are going to see? I'll maximize this guy, okay, fine. Now, this is fine. Let me just run something first, and then I don't know which one is enabled. Okay, for now, this is fine. Okay, on day 8, this is fine till here. Now, first thing we have to say, okay, let's answer this question that was asked by our good friend. So, can we actually use what? List to store multiple items, or can a list actually contain multiple data types? Is it yes or no? So here is a list that contains, now just imagine, this is not practically possible, but let's say this is what you want to do. You want to say, I want to buy one car. So this is car. I want only one car, which will cost me 9.25 lakhs. So how many data types have you seen now? You have seen a string, you have seen numbers, okay? This is int type, this is float type, no problem. Or just call it decimal for short, okay? Now we've seen that this is car, right? And this car is of type string. Now you have this, no problem, of type int, and you also have this of type int, no problem. Subset of that, float, no wahala. Now here you have bike. Now look here. This car is a string actually, but I try using single quotes. This is a bike, which is what? Double quotes, no problem. And then 2 of them I want is going to cost me 400,000 rupees, which is 4 lakh rupees. And I have cycle. I wanted to buy only one, which is going to cost me 15,260 rupees. Okay, so you say 15.26. Fine. Okay. And then I said that I want all of them. It is true. Meaning, so many data types are here, including Boolean also. So let's run this. Okay. So once we print this now, okay, I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay. And then this is what we'll have. Fine. So no worries, right? So we're able to do that. Now, if you call len function on, what was it? On ls, our list, okay? What is the length? Including true also will be counted. The length is 10, okay? Now, so if I call len of what? Say, if I call ls of what? The first one, right? So obviously the first item. Now you've seen that every of them, including true also, was treated. Let me start with the last one then. Okay. Okay. Say if I try this last one, okay, I'll get true. Got it? Fine. So if I try the same thing also, I say ls of the first one. Okay. I'm going to get the first one as car. The first item. Sorry. Yes. Sorry. Len of 1 obviously is the second item, please. Yes. So first item is len of 0, which is car. Okay. Just in case if I try confusing some of you, len of 0. Okay. Now this is it. I'm saying LF of 0, please. LS of 0. This is car. So this is possible. All right. Now, what if we want to change it this way? Okay. We want to change it this way. Pay attention. So such that, remember we have not reviewed yesterday's assignment, such that we kind of use the 2D list. Please remember, this is 2D list now, right? You can see two braces. And when we treat tuples, you now see why we prefer tuples over lists whenever we are working on two-dimensional arrays like this. Sorry, lists like this, two-dimensional lists. So you can say you have some first name, you have some long name, you have some values and some stuff. Will this give an error when we print it? Let's find out. Okay, so you see again that came out, but please now pay attention, it is a 2D list now. So this will not be treated individually, rather from this beginning of the brace to where it closes is treated as 1. So if I check this again and this one, it will be treated as 2. So let's check the length of this guy now. Okay, so we have printed data, so let's check the length of data, right? So length of we want to print data, right? So this returns the number of items. Please feel free to check this. Read this documentation. Returns the number of items in the container. Fine. So we are looking for data. Now, once we do this now and press enter, you see now it returns 2. You got the point now. But if you counted like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, you're going to get like that it is actually what? 12 and not 2. But why is it 2? Because it is two-dimensional array, so everything inside this is treated as 1. Now the question is, please listen, how do we now take this one? I need to take only first. Okay, that means that slicing again will work here. Yes, so slicing will work here. That means instead of saying data, if I print data now, I'm going to get everything, right? The structure, the entire list. So I said, okay, yeah, there are 2 elements only here. So I need to get to this, right? So let me try data of 0. What do you think it will return? Data, please listen. Data of zeros, okay? Now, what do you think it will return? It's okay, I will not waste your time because, again, there will be some time lag in between. Okay, so for those that are only for attendance, now they are joining. The count has increased to 39. After another 5 minutes, it will jump to 52. It's fine. If I get only 30 consistent people, it's still fine. Okay, if you like, keep cheating yourself. It's okay. Now, data of 0, please listen. Returns, obviously, because you got the points, right? This is entire list, small list inside that list. Okay, now I'm closer to what I'm trying to do, right? So I'll say data of what? 0, again, sub 0. Right? Because I'm interested in only what? First name. So I'm doing data, okay, 0 sub 0. I press enter. Now first name has come. You got the point? Now what we normally do is this. Let's say we want to let's try to get this index out of bound error. So we say data of 10. What do you think will happen? Obviously we know, right? Only 2 is there. Okay, that is 0 and 1. See, I told you 40 people are there. Let them keep joining. Now, once I press data of 10, look here. List index out of bound error, okay, or out of range. List index out of range. Obviously, it says, see, there are only 2 lists I can see. Only that the length of this list is 2. But you want to go to the 10th one. I don't understand what you are trying to do. You got the point. So if you want to get, let's say I want you to return only this one now. So that means, let's try to return, okay, this 5, okay? So that means I need to come to what? Data of 1, yes or no? Data of 1. Now I've come to data of 1, I press enter. Now I need to do again data of what? 1 of what? Now you see, data of 1, I need now of what? So 0, 1, 2. Okay, I need 5. So data of 0, 1, 2. Now I press enter. Now 5 is being displayed. I hope you can see it. Okay, 5 comes. So again, we can actually slice this, no problem. Starting from this and reaching that, no problem. So let's comment this out now and continue. Okay, we're almost done. So here now we look into joins. Okay, so now like I said, I gave an instance there. Okay, so we're going to have a name. So this is a list actually. This is actually my surname. I broke it into 3 syllables. Okay, 3 parts. Now it is broken. Before we print this, let's comment out these guys and see what you get. Okay, so I'm going to print ls like that and let's see. Okay, now this is fine, so I will run this now. Okay, and this is what we have. I hope you're able to see this, right? So nothing is there. Obviously, if I just say ls, this is what I have, right? No doubt, this is what I have. Maybe on this note, I will close this now and start this afresh. Okay, Now, okay, so now you got my points, right? So if I said ls, this was what I got. Now let me try to wrap it around print and see whether there's going to be different, whether it's going to be different or it's going to be the same. Okay, now if you guess it's going to be the same, you are right. Okay, so by default, when I just said ls, what I ended up doing was what? Printing what? Calling the print method by default. Now this is done. Now my interest is to join this. Okay, so I'm going to show you all of them. You know that join will join all of them together. Okay, then this will give a space in between. So this joins together. Okay, joins together. Okay, now becoming one word into a word, into a single word. Now there are three words there actually, right? Into a single word. And how will you know actually that it is three? So you can actually call this guy, right? You say len of what? Len of ls. Okay, ls. Fine. Now you see it is 3. But when we join this now, the len of ls will become what? 1. So this now joins with space. With space. Okay? Sorry, with space. You got the point? So spaces will be there. So with spaces in between. Okay? Now what would the other one do? With comma. You can see, you have seen it here. And the other one is with some special character. Okay? So this is with comma. And then the last one is with some special character. Fine? So let's just print this now and see what happens. Okay? Now you see here, it has joined it. Now it gave them like that with space, right? Now here it has said this with this, fine, and the last one. You got the point? Fine. Okay, so this is fine. Let's generate our anagram word now. Now you know that definitely we need to shuffle it. That was what we said. Okay, and I like this name. Okay, sorry, they say not Anania. I'm not trying to say Anania. I'm trying to say Anaya. Like, you know, you say Aka and Anaya. Okay, like a big brother, Anaya. So enter a word. Obviously, it's said in the stored in the list. Okay, convert the word, whatever you entered from string format to a list, and now shuffle it. Call this shuffle method on the word letter list, and now join whatever you shuffled and print Anaya like that. Okay, so let's do this. Enter a word. Let me say Tejas. I like Tejas actually. That's your ballistic missile, right? Tejas. Now, please look here. Tejas has become asset whatever, ja. Okay, whatever. Now, let's run this again and see whether it's going to give us the same thing. I'm going to type the same thing again, Tejas. Now, you see, set tag. Can you see what I mean? Okay, so every time you run this, you're not supposed to get the same stuff, the same output, because you have shuffled it. So first one was asset. Second one, it was setja. Okay, so run it a couple of times. Obviously, you get different stuff. Okay, hope this concept is clear, guys. Now, your list comprehension now. We said the first exercise was to create a list, okay, of random words, right? Sorry, not random words, from 1 to 10. Yes, not random words. So in this case, what we wanted to do was, okay, just create a list. See here, from 0 to 9, no doubt, and that's it. Fine. Because we needed 10. If you wanted 10 to be included, obviously we go to up to 11, okay? And then we run this back again, and then we're going to get 10 is included there. Fine. This is done using this comprehension. One single line, we've done that. Now, this was the example we said, okay, say a string contains hello, that is string, and this contains what? List of numbers, and this also what? List of what? Characters. Fine? Oh, sorry, words, please. List of words, list of numbers, and what? An ordinary string. It is not a list. I hope you know that. Fine. Now, till here, each of them square them. Okay, so please listen. This is not at all, this method is not at all related to whatever we have above. Because I'm just using what? List comprehension to find the squares of numbers from 1 to 8. That means from 1 to 7 inclusive. Please listen. This I printed here has nothing to do with whatever list we have above. So using this comprehension, find the squares of numbers from 1 to 8. So if you want 8 to be included, you say from 1 to 9, so that you have 64 at the end. But now we are going to have 49. So whatever is now here, now let's get here now. What is the name of the list? L. So I'm going to multiply them by 10 so that the output will be 1, 4, 1, 14, 5 and stuff. And enough of talking, just run this quickly. So this is done. I'll just print this now, okay? And this is what we'll have. Now you see this. First one, okay, was the list, okay? Now, the next is, sorry, the square of the list. Please look here. 1 to what? 7 inclusive. 1 to 7 inclusive, because 7 squared is 49. The next is this, multiply by 10 in what? The list called L. So last is 12, multiply by 10, 120. Now, each of the string, that means here, print them 2 times. So this is not like squaring, please. This is the square, okay, which you use double star, okay? And this is the repeat it twice, which you use times 2. So if you do it on a string, it will repeat each of those characters twice. Now, I want this, right? What do I want to do now? I want to print what? Each of the first character in what? In this list consisting of words. The first character. So 0, sorry, O, not 0. T, F, and S. So O, T, F, and S. Fine. Now this one says if they are less than 10, obviously. Okay. So going back to the list, please look here. We are looking at this list L. So where is list L? This is the list L. How many numbers are less than 10? 1, 5, and 9. That's why we got 1, 5, and 9. And did you notice something here? Before it does this, it calls the sort method. Okay. And lastly, if the length is exactly equal to 3, right? So we return only the first letter. Okay. Yeah, Sachi, suppose if you give star, then it will give a cube. No, Sachi, you have to do this. Let's look here. Raised to power 3. Please look here. Let me run this now, Sachi. Brilliant observation. Please, let's run this. So we are going to comment out all this stuff now, and let's run this. That was brilliant. So we're not going to use triple star, okay? I know it's the same thing, but raised to power 3, okay? So let's run this now quickly. So I'm going to run F5, okay? So you know what it is, right? So first thing now you see. Did you see that? So 2 raised to power 3 is 8. 3 raised to power 3 is 27. 4 raised to power 3 is 64. 5 raised to power 3 is 125. 6 raised to power 3 is 216. 7 raised to power 3 is 343. Thank you for pointing that out. So we are not going to use that star as triple star that we say raised to power 3. So to the 4th power, raised to power 4. To the 5th power, raised to power 5. Otherwise, we keep putting star everywhere. Okay, I pressed 8. Okay, you got the point? Good boy. All right. So this is fine. So I'm going to comment this out. Okay. Sorry, hide that. Now let's start with 2D list. Okay. So in 2D list, what we do is, so we have this 2D list, right? And now we want to print. Represents exponential. Thank you so much, Madin. Okay, sorry, I cannot pronounce your name, Jayashri. Any shortcut for cube roots? I don't think, for now, I don't want to use math method. I don't want to use inbuilt method, okay? Okay, we don't want to use inbuilt method, obviously. For now, let's just run it directly. So no shortcut. I think exponentiation should be the only shortcut, okay? So let's run this. Please pay attention. You should know the structure of your list, because you should answer how many rows are here and how many columns are here. Let me print the true case, and then we go and print the false case. Please listen. This is one thing I want you to take care of. Now here it's printed 1 to 8, 1 to 12, no doubt. But let's say I made a mistake. Just watch. I said 4, and then I said 4. Okay, just watch what will happen now. Enter. Now it says here, look here, least index out of range. Okay. So list index out of range. So in that case, let me print the list and see the structure. I mean, how many rows are there and how many columns are there? I called it L, not LS. So if you print this now, you see, please look here. It returns this list, right? Okay. That means you should be able to, this is also a 2D list. Remember we came across this in the previous sessions, right? Now don't get confused. This is a 2D list, but it's better written as this for clarity. So this is a 2D list. That means how many rows are here? 1, 2, and 3. And how do you know actually? If you call len of what? If I call len on L, so it's going to tell me it is 3. Now that means there are 3 rows here, obviously. So if I now, okay, there are 3 rows here, so definitely there are 4 columns here. Hence, I can actually use this now, okay? So that's why when we change this now back to 3 rows and 4 columns, then it's going to give me the lists. F5, enter. Got it? So I got the list back. Now, please look here. Something is going to be funny here now. Please look here. You see this print. So what does it do actually? Please, guys, don't just be here for attendance sake. Many of them left, but please just bear with me for some time. I'm winding up, okay? Now, I'm going to comment this out. Please listen. and I'm going to print this now. It will not give any error, but that was not the output we are looking for. Now look here, guys. So it has flattened this. Okay, this is actually called it's not called flattening, it's called I will get the name, I will tell you. Okay, it's called let me call it flattening of list. Actually, that is what it's called. Okay, so we have flattened this list now, and you see after this list is flattened, if I now check what is contained in the list, now you see it's giving me the original one, but because of the way I printed this, guys, why I said end, right? I don't want to print it as a new line, on a new line. I only was printing on the same line. So because of that, after it has finished printing this, it should print a blank space, a new line. Okay, new line, not blank space. This prints space, this prints new line. So this is this is what happens now when you did not format it properly. Okay, I hope this is clear, guys. So this is what we wanted, and we got that. Whereas in the previous case, we ended up flattening this. Fine. It was a 2D list only. How did we know? We checked back what is in the list, and we saw it was a 2D list. Fine. Okay. Now, second to the last, another way is to use what we call pretty print. So it is present in this model called pretty print only. What will it do? It will print it like this only. We have seen, right? We saw this. So it's going to print it like this only. Okay. So let's run this now, and then you see. All right. So I'll just run this quickly. F5. Done. And you see, sorry, L is not defined, obviously. Okay, because I hid it. You got the point, guys? So I'm gonna remove this guy. Okay, and then here where I hid that, close it here. Okay. Yes, you got the point. It says that is not defined, obviously, because I hid that. So run this back. So I'm going to print this, please listen. So to avoid confusion, I'll close the entire kernel. Okay, print this once. Okay, now, okay, move it this way. Now you got what I mean, right? So this was what we got originally using this method. And the second one was using pretty print, okay? Or you can actually print a statement using pretty print, okay? So that you get that this is it. So it's the same thing as you calling, say, L, right? Just printing, sorry, L. C is the same thing, okay? Fine. So this is done. The other approach also of printing it is done. Now, create a larger list in the range using this comprehension. So please listen. So what this is going to do is going to be a little funny here, because it's going to populate our screen with ones. And this one will be of size 1 by 50, as in, so in the range of, 1 by 100, please look here. And it's going to cover the entire screen. Each one will multiply 50 times, and it will be repeated 100 times. That is from 0 to 99. Now, let's run this quickly and see the behavior. Okay? Now, if you run this now, please look here. Pay attention now. Did you see this? Squeezed test, 331 lines. Is it concatenation? Hey, I'm really sorry I missed out. Please connect with me offline, okay? I'm really sorry I missed out, okay? I didn't know which question. Maybe you asked it earlier. I'm really sorry about that. So let's look at this, okay? Now, double click on this. Now, you see here, right? It is still a 2D. Okay, so entire thing, see here. So it looks like some pretty pattern you ended up drawing, okay? So this is it. Now I will close this obviously because it's too large, okay? And then this is done, okay? So lastly, let's review your assignment, and we are done. So you remember this assignment yesterday, right? This was the assignment yesterday. So let me run this assignment just to remind you of what we did yesterday. So we were actually playing some game which says, what is the capital of India, right? I said New Delhi, something like that. Okay, then press enter, it's converted to, it says got one correct, okay, 1 out of whatever. Okay, now, so actually you should have seen the else part. Oh, sorry, I commented out the question too. I hit that also. And yeah, so this was what I wanted to do. Okay, I will repeat it again. 2 questions were there yesterday. He said, what's the capital of India? I said New Delhi. Okay, enter. Now you got 1 out of 1. Which whatever state has one neighbor? I'll type the true states on the Karnataka. Okay, done. You got 2 out of 2. But the problem here was we did not use list comprehension, right? So we did not use anything here. So let me comment this out now. Okay, and then what we have to do is just to use the concept of list only. Okay, so coming here, this is done. Let's look at the 6th one now. So the simplified version with loops. Look here. So the questions is stored in a list, which is the capital state of India. Now, why is this advantageous? Because you see, every time we need to say which is the capital of this, right? Again, we have to go and say input statement and things like that. See, correcting this, see, I'll go delete here, update, do here, update. Just look at this. Very simple in a list, right? Comma. Put the second one, comma. Let's say I want to say which state is the cleanest, which city is the cleanest city. Okay, I can say which which is the cleanest city, something like this. Which is the cleanest city, something like that. I want to type, okay, cleanest city. Now you see, this is easy, right? So in this, I now need to say Nama Mysuru. Sorry, don't feel bad, but I like Mysuru. Okay, Mysuru. Okay, so here I will say, okay, fine, this is Mysuru. Now what I will do, if this is correct, I will increase this, right? Then else if, so instead of saying else, please listen, I need to have another condition, right? Else if, and check the second question, right? And now finally, you've got what? Together, out of, together, right? Okay, you got the point? So since this is not there, so I'm going to now take out this, and then we run that. So this was what I asked you to do yesterday, okay? So this is fine, and then run this F5. Okay, done. Oh, sorry, end of file while scanning. What did I do? Yes, I did not close this. Okay, so pay attention. Most times when you program also, you're going to get this unmatched this. Okay, yes. Yes, I shouldn't close that. It should be comma, right? Because it's continuation. Please look here. Okay, I broke this. Otherwise, you can keep it here. Now you notice that it is on one line, and this is fine. So I will run this again. Okay, which one? What am I missing now? Okay, which is the city has that? Okay, so answers correct. Okay, let me just undo some things. Maybe I made a mistake in between. Okay, okay, fine. Okay, so okay, this is fine. Okay, but I need to show you what I actually did. Okay, fine. Which is the cleaner? I didn't want that, so go back to the previous history. Okay, so this is fine. Then we run this and then we are done. Ready? Okay. Okay, so which one has the nearest city? It should work now. End of file. What is happening actually? Okay, maybe this one. Sorry. Okay, yeah, that was the mistake. That was the mistake. Okay, and now you got the point. Sorry, I actually ended up adding some what do you call it here? I ended up adding some comment section there. Okay, so let's see this. Okay, which is the stuff now? Which is start capital of India? Let me say Africa. Okay, so obviously I got 0. Which one is the nearest? Let's say I say Karnataka. Okay, Karnataka. Fine. Now I got 1 out of 2 correct. Okay, so this is a simplified version. So yes, there wouldn't be any assignment today because I didn't want you to make out time and just review the GitHub session. Okay, and we are going to create a pool. I'll ask the moderators to help me out, and then we decide on a day in which we can have a break. Okay, so on this note, guys, I want to thank you so much for listening, guys, and then please, once that is done, and in case if you still need any help, okay, or you run into a problem while creating your